Hi, I'm Debbie, and welcome to Divine Destiny with Debbie. Today, we're reading for March 25th, 26th, and 27th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, you know that I'm going to use my Radley Valentine deck. Here's my Angel Tarot cards for the main reading. I will pull in my John Holland Psychic Tarot and Oracle deck, and I'll pull one from my Emily Anderson Crystal deck. Now, for the introduction, which this is the introduction, I will use my Waite Rider, and I will pull one, maybe more, from my Osha Zen Tarot cards. I have prayed, meditated, and infused all the decks with Reiki energy. But remember, this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate. Take what you like, leave the rest. So nothing is really retrograde right now. So you would think that things would be really calm. Oh, by the way, I am an intuitive psychic. An intuitive channeler, I would say. I open myself to higher power. My job is just to deliver the message. So like all the planets, especially for Mars, everything in Mars, the planets are all going direct. Most of February, all of Mars, and then most of April until the 28th. The planets have all been going direct. So you would think, well, that's okay. That's pushing forward. Well, the thing is, the planets get close to each other. You know, we've talked a little bit about Venus and Mars. And the one I didn't really talk about too much, and this has been going on since, I would say, the beginning of March, I think until the 27th, is that Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, and Mercury in Pisces. Well, Neptune and Pisces have been, pretty close together, and then Mercury and Pisces, they've all gotten very, very close, especially, I would say, maybe the 23rd through the 26th, and they're all in Pisces. And, Neptune is very dreamy, very, which really works well with Pisces. Jupiter is hopeful, thing of, great fortune, good luck, which also works well with Pisces. Mercury's a little bit of the troublemaker, but he's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to go along with it. I want things to happen. I want wonderful things. Let's move with that too. The thing is, though, they're getting very close together at this point. And like all roommates, it's kind of like, visitors and fish. After 3 days, they start to stink, need to move out. Anyway, Mercury's getting a little antsy. We've all been, and Mercury is about communication, and it's like, okay, I want wonderful things, but I'm really getting very stressed, and I'm not hearing what I want. I'm not, things aren't developing the way I want them to develop. And on the 27th, I move into Aries, and Aries is going to make things happen for me. So Mercury has some really interesting things. Mercury in Aries, communication, electronics, still going direct. But it's really going to be a little bit more powerful. So Mercury will get messages out. We might hear messages. We might have some communication. I don't know. Could we have communication problems? Well, we've got all those solar storms that are happening, so that could happen too. So it's just a very interesting time. And then next week, we've got some stuff with Aries, Saturn, and a little bit further down, Mars in with Saturn also. So I kind of feel like we might have with Venus, this is for next week, or the beginning of the week, so if I don't talk about it, I kind of feel like Venus in their conjunction with Saturn, and they're all in Aquarius. Remember, I feel like there could be some revelations on the relationship side, and there could be some trust issues going on. So we'll see what happens with that. But this time, just your communication, like I said, on the 27th, Mercury goes into Aries. It's going to be a little bolder. It's going to be more, upfront. And right now, Mercury, Neptune, and Jupiter and Neptune, they're kind of like, hey, chill. And Mercury's just like that little grain of sand in your shoe. That really is just bothering the heck. So I feel some not anxiety, I feel some agitation. I just feel like, come on already. Okay, let's see what we have going on. I have been shuffling my Waite Rider, or my Rider-Waite cards. And it was interesting, I was doing this yesterday, and I kept pulling up the same cards, which were rather, I don't know, disturbing or liberating. So let's see if we pull out the same cards. I won't tell you what they were, But let's see if I do pull out the same cards. So what's happening for the universe? What can we talk about with the universal energies? Here we are. Glasses so I can see. Take a moment. Please like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell for notifications. Got that out of the way. So I'll say it again at the end too. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. And remember, like I said, this is the introduction. I will put a timestamp in the description so you can bypass if you're ascending, rising, moon, Mars, Mercury, who did I miss? Venus, any of those that you know, in your natal charts, if you have those in there. Okay, let's see what we've got going. First card is, well, that one kept coming up yesterday too. The Hermit. The Hermit, and my nose is itching. The Hermit is a 9. 9 has, you have all the information you need. Wrap it up. Let's get things done. The Hermit is about taking a step back. Is about, again, I'm always going to be talking about connecting with your higher power. This is a major arcana card, and whenever you see the major arcana card, it's a very spiritual card, and it's to kind of wake you up to what might be needed to be doing. Okay, the Hermit is, the Hermit's not a crazy person hiding in a cave. The Hermit is taking a step back, looking for his light, looking for his guide, looking for what is my next step, where am I supposed to be going. Connecting again, meditating, praying with the higher power, guardian angels, whoever that is for you. So let's see our next card. Okay, I like this one. This showed up a couple of times yesterday, but not a whole lot, not as much as the Hermit did. The King of Pentacles. Now, you know that whenever I talk about the court cards, they all have underlying energies. Page's underlying energy is Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Knight's underlying energy is fire, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Cup's underlying energy is, so that was the Knight. Queen's underlying energy is Cups, which is your Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And then we have King's underlying energy, which is Sword or Air, which is Aquarius. So that, that might be going on for next week. But it's also Gemini, and it's also Libra. So we have the underlying energy is our air energy. It is very focused, very much planning. Air energy is making your plans, seeing the pathway, seeing what you need to do. Very, very linear type of thinking, but very brilliant type of thinking. Pentacles, though, so this is a king that really can see what the next steps are. But Pentacles is that earth energy, again, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And that is about your, your money, your job, your career. The King of Pentacles is could be a very professional person. It could be a person in leadership, a person that has to deal with money. It could also be a subject matter expert. So there's something going on between the two here, the Hermit and then the King of Pentacles. Not quite sure where we're at with this. But the King of Pentacles does provide for many. Okay, next card is the Emperor. Now, the Emperor was also there a lot yesterday, too. The Emperor is, again, a major arcana. It is a 4. 4 has a, basically, it is leadership, organization. It also has some stability to it. Now, the Emperor has a couple of different types of feel. The Emperor and the King, okay, you would think of them as peers, but the Emperor has a little bit more of a power, has more power. The Emperor has, a lot of times to me, is more of the masculine side of the divine, of the source. Now, the Empress brings a lot of the feminine side, and the Emperor brings a lot of that masculine side. There is ruler here. There is a very sharpness. There is a very much a judgmental energy here, but yet at the same time it is based upon understanding too. So there's something going on this weekend. These two, this one is about money. This could be a doctor, lawyer. This could be somebody also in politics. It could also be a subject matter expert. This one, I get a very ruling type of energy. We have the Hermit. The Hermit has to step away. The Hermit has to connect to higher power. I am feeling like I need to pull 2 more cards, so let's see what else we might have. Sneaky Snake did come up a couple of times yesterday. Not a whole lot. I would get more of the Seven of Swords, but Five has change energy. This is sneaky snake. This is kind of watch out. Not everybody can be trusted. This one came up a lot, the Three of Pentacles. This was provision. Three has power. Three has, the power of three. It's also celebration, creativity. This was getting provision, but this was going to ask for provision, and somebody that was in authority, possibly the Pentacles or the King of Pentacles or the Emperor, was providing. But this was provision. But there was sneaky snake. Sneaky snake, we just got to watch out for that because there's things going on. And this could go into what I was talking about the next week, where I'm saying that there could be some trust issues. Okay, next card is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, very powerful, very positive, very much I am going into a better place. And again, Knight's underlying energy is fire, so it's passionate. And Cups is our water energy. So it's also very fluid, but it's also very powerful in its I want what I want, what I want. Okay, so the cards I've been looking for did not pop up, so I'm really happy with that. Let's see what we have, though. These three did come up a lot. This one came up a lot, too. The Seven of Swords was the one that was really, really coming up, and I kind of feel like the Seven of Swords is sneaky snake a little bit on steroids. It's a little bit more. It's like this one's just kind of waiting and seeing, and again, sneaky, 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 where the Seven was very actively sabotaging. So, didn't come up. I'm okay with that. So let's go on here and see what we have to see. Awareness. Guilt. That one kept coming up. Maturity. I like them. They are all reversed. Reversed has a stronger energy to me, so let's pay more attention. The awareness. Now, we are into Aries season. We have passed that time with the veil, with spring. Now, it was interesting. I know this is just one of those anecdotal information, but it is interesting that in the Julian calendar, March 25th was the day of the equinox. So, just to say. So here we have a 7. 7 has the divine umbrella, divine intervention, divine interference. This is an awareness. This is, and remember, I look at Osha Zen Tarot more as words of advice. So this is to increase our awareness. This is to break out of our cocoons. This is to leave the shadows behind. And as this veil, as this, whatever this is, membrane is being pulled apart, leaving behind the dark energy, the dark, the anxiety, the guilt. And if you look, the person has peace. And the person has, the person actually appears to be, just to be like, okay, I have a better understanding. Now, we have 8. 8 has unlimited opportunities, unlimited possibilities, but this is all about guilt. So what is it that we're going to be feeling? What is it we're going to be finding out? Well, who is it? Is there going to be someone that's going to be very guilty? Is it ourselves? Is it someone in the universe? But this is guilt. This is racking our brain. This would be kind of not necessarily your 9 of Swords, where 9 of Swords is just kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But this has that guilt energy. This has that, that looking back, looking at past deeds, looking at how we've come to where we've come to, and just not necessarily liking how our path was. We can change our path. We can change our where we are going, how we are connecting. Guilt. If you learn from guilt, or if you learn from situations that have stimulated your guilt, you will know then that guilt then becomes a useless emotion that you really need to not carry with you. But that's if you've learned from it. And yet, we have the next card, which is maturity. It does not have a number, which actually helps to tell us that we do learn. We do learn. So we've got some interesting energies. I'm very happy that we didn't get the energies that I was reading yesterday, because it was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this one? And it was just an interesting read. So these are the things, basically, look around, come out into the light, see what actually is happening. Let let this guilt leave. It's only trying to hold you back. You can see these little hands are trying to really, keep this, whoever it is, it's trying to hold on to. So these, and remember, we're in the waning part of the moon, so it is a good time to release. There are flowers, there's a beauty beyond the guilt. And here we go into maturity, which means we are spiritually growing up, spiritually connecting. It's not just in our age per se, but it's in our spirituality that we need to, we need to do the connection. We need to basically come to a point where we know that many things we can't control. Some things we can. We can control how we react. And, sometimes we just need to take some deep breaths and say, this is what it is, and what am I supposed to do while I'm in this? So, interesting stuff. The cards I was looking for did not pop up, so I'm very happy about that, though it did mean that there was going to be something that was changing quite dramatically, and that's okay too, as long as it was in the positive. Okay, which it was, so that was a good thing too. Anyway, I will, hopefully this means something. I go back to this the most. We need to step back. We need to reconnect, but we also need to, regroup a little bit ourselves. Watch out for sneaky snake. Don't worry so much about the money situation. There will be provision. It might not be necessarily what we want. And remember, this is new opportunity. Nights are also new opportunities, but this is new opportunities in romance, also in love, and in passion, and in things that we find important. Okay? Okay. So why don't we start our readings, but again, to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We'll start now. Hello, my Aries. How are you doing? Happy birthday to you all. So, interesting times, interesting, just times we live in. Okay, let's go on. Those cards I was telling you about in the introduction, I was looking for them, and I was putting my cards away, and I look on the bottom, I'm like, oh, there it is. So I take that one off. Oh, and there's that second one. So it was just interesting. So we'll see if they pop up and when they pop up again. Anyway, let's see what we have for my Aries for this weekend. Remember, Mercury will be going into Mars on the 27th, so you will find that a lot of the frustration with communication, just because it's been so, it will be brought forth, okay? Communication will be it will start to be very strong if it's not already strong. Like I said, Mercury with Jupiter and Neptune, it's been kind of muddled. It's been kind of like, okay, sure, fine. But then Mercury has been getting a little bit frustrated with how communication's been, going. And now it will be a little more forthright, and it could be a little more, what shall we say, blunt? All right, just to let you know that. All right, let's see what we have going for our Aries. First card is Renewal. So these two were reversed. So I had a lot of Judgment cards coming up yesterday, which is what 20 is. Renewal it is the Judgment card. And it kind of, it was, as I was looking at the card, it was interesting because it was something that I felt like we needed to ask. We needed to ask. I don't know if it was to have forgiveness, or it was to give us a second chance, but it was like the ones that were asking, things were going to happen that were going to be that much better, okay? The ones that were putting their hands up, and I'm looking at the Weight Rider. So Renewal, we have the 2 energy. The 2 energy is Crossroads choices coming together. 0 is God's source energy. Higher power, major arcana energy here too. New start, kind of like, well, let's wipe the debts, let's wipe the stuff, maybe you've learned, maybe we've learned, maybe we've all learned. Let's wipe out that. Let's start again. So again, like I said, with the guilt, the guilt, you do have to release guilt in order to move forward. It doesn't mean you that you release the lessons that you learned, but guilt only is only something that turns inward. It's what do they say? Anger turned inwards. Okay, so renewal is Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts, but it is time to move in a new direction. So especially, I'm going to be interested to hear what conversations are being said when Mercury goes into Aries, moving in that new direction. It's like you got to do it. So choices, of course, these are always your choices. Next card is the Two of Air. So now we have that two energy again, 202. And we have that air energy, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, thought process and also making plans. So something that you've been holding off on, something you haven't really, you know what the answer is, you know what the decision is, you know what you want to do. And it's like, you've just been holding off. Don't blame yourself so much because, like I said, all that Mercury and Neptune and Jupiter in going on, in Pisces has really, it's helped to stimulate you. It's helped to have you see all these possibilities, but it really didn't help you with the good communication. Probably, possibly, as like I said, with Mercury in Aries, that's going to really make your communications fly. And but just be careful again how you present it, because Mercury was getting a little agitated, a little bit, ticked off at, its situation. So you might be a little more forceful in your speech than you really even plan on being. Okay. Two of Air is being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. However, with the Two of Air, you know what the solution you want is. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to be agreed upon, but, pretending there is no problem, take that as you will. Next card is the King of Earth. Now, the King of Earth was in the beginning, in the introduction, it was the King of Pentacles, Earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, and also Virgo energy, money, job, career, also your home. And the King of Earth is a professional, is a lawyer, doctor, a subject matter expert, somebody that has risen to his or her, we all have male, female energies, level of competency. So this one is really talking to you about a very successful time. So whatever's going on here, there is a very successful opening, successful time happening for you. When you see the card that just fell out of the next time, you'll know this is one of those change energy times for you, okay? So the King of Earth is generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch. And when, again, too, this is reverse, this is John Holland, and this is basically a 6. 6 is the number of man, so you have a 2026. You can sometimes drop the 0. 226, 622, moving on. Now there is a guide, there is a compass going from dark to light. So this is one of those weekends that could help you to transition, could help you to start your new plans, putting your new plans into motion. The Two of Air tells me, though, that it's not necessarily an easy time for you to talk about, but Mercury, again, in Aries, will help you do that. The only thing that I'm going to say is be careful, choose your words wisely, because, like I said, Mercury, where Mercury was before, Mercury was kind of like, okay, guys, come on, let's get going. Come on. You promised me all these dreams, all this nice stuff, and I'm getting kind of frustrated here. And now, might be a little bit over, you might go a little overboard in your conversation, whoever and whatever that is. But this does have some changes possibly in your job, your business, your relationships, that you've been really thinking about. You've been really making some thoughts about doing that. Now, changes can also be that, it could be that you actually make change, but it could also be that you change something in yourself too, okay? So let's see what crystal or energy is going to be helpful for my Aries. Here we go. Black obsidian. It's all about strength, support, during changes, which is what this is about, isn't it? Everyday stress relief clears negative energy. So this weekend, it's more of one of those a crossroads. You're at a crossroad. Where are you going? The renewal card and the moving on kind of say you know the decision you need to make, and you may decide that that's where you want to go. King of Earth, couple of things. What is that it does show that there is a successful route for you. And again, there, sometimes that can be a little bit scary. So let's just, like I always say, meditate, pray, connect with your higher power and ask, what am I supposed to do? And then just wait and let the answers come. Okay. So my Aries, you got an interesting weekend ahead of you. Let me know what it's all about. Please take a moment to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notifications. As always, my Aries, know that you are loved, stay shining, and be blessed. Bye-bye.